Sacred Roles in Marriage by William G. Defoore, Ph.D. Narrated by William G. Defoore.
And the Chinese gentleman said, well, there's no need to do that. My marriage is fine. And Dad said, well, let's take a look at it anyway. I'm sure there's some things that we can improve on. He said, no, there are no problems in my marriage whatsoever. And Dad's, in the back of his mind thinking, yeah, right. But he goes on, and out of respect, and then a couple hours later he comes back to it and he says, I'd really like to discuss your marriage with you and see if there's some things that we can improve there. And the Chinese gentleman said, you don't seem to understand. My marriage is fine. There's no problem in my marriage. And Dad said, well, how'd you do that? And he said, well, when we met, my wife and I decided that we would always treat each other as honored guests. And we have. And that has been an idea that has continued to teach me and contribute to a growth process, because if we had an honored guest coming from out of town or another country, someone really important in our home, we would only say the nicest things and give them only the best of who we are and what we have. And yet this person that we love and we marry and we choose to spend our life with, all too often gets our worst. Police officers will tell you the most dangerous call they can make is domestic violence. Why is it that somehow our worst seems to come out in that place? Well, it makes sense for some reasons we'll take a look at. One is we feel safe there. And yet, in order to feel safe, we have to bring this love and respect. So let's look at where we're going to go today in our talk. We'll look at the life of the relationship, which is a separate entity. The roles we play and why, what each of us brings to the table in terms of what we contribute to our relationship, what it means to become best friends with ourselves and with each other, the power of play, and bringing sacred space and creating sacred space in our relationships. So in terms of the priorities of commitment, I want you to think and just consider these possibilities. You may agree or not agree, but just consider some of these possibilities as we go through this. Your first priority of commitment is to yourself. And that's not selfish, it's practical. It's just like if you're going to go on a trip, you get your car tuned up, a road trip, get your car tuned up, make sure you've got plenty of gas and everything you need. Is that selfish? No, it's practical. Our self is the center of what we bring to the relationship, and the better we care for ourselves, the better deal our partner's going to get. The role that we play in that relationship is the second priority. I can't be very good in my role as husband if I haven't taken care of my own personal, emotional, psychological health. The third commitment is the relationship. Now, you notice I didn't say the third commitment is your spouse. The third commitment is to the relationship. So we're going to consider a new idea that your marriage commitment is not to that person that you're married to. It's to the relationship. And when both of you commit to the relationship, something wonderful begins to happen. So how this might look is like these overlapping circles. Those of you who are sitting next to your spouse today, imagine a circle, a sphere that surrounds you and one that surrounds your spouse, and then just imagine that overlap space. That's the relationship. And if you're on the other sides of the planet, it still exists. Well, no matter how close or how far, there's this overlap. And that is the relationship. Thomas More, author of Care of the Soul, suggests that the relationship has a soul. He suggests that it has a life of its own. And we know this is true because a marriage is born when we say our vows and make our commitment. And a marriage can die when we get a divorce. And sometimes it can die and we don't get a divorce.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?